Alright, hello beautiful people. We are back on the Coffee Cream channel, and this is a video that needs to be made soon enough because the battleground of HBCUs versus PWIs is getting sticky, you guys. Like, it's getting really bad. And to me, in my mind, there seems to be absolutely no reason as to why it should be this much conflict between black people who are all just trying to get a higher education. But I do kind of see where both sides are coming from. I myself attend a HBCU. What you talking about? Like, what are you? I love my HBCU. Like, what do you mean? So in order to give fair share and equally discuss both sides without being biased, I'm going to address the pros and cons of both HBCUs and PWIs. I guess to do it backwards, I'll do the hardest thing first and then I'll do the easier side. So as far as PWIs go, I know that one benefit is usually they're in main cities. So there are a lot more things to do and you can be a lot more active with a community when you go to a PWI. PWIs can provide not really better, but maybe more opportunities that HBCUs can because of the connections that they have in the real world and because of the fact that they are larger universities and there are more of them. PWIs probably are a little bit more organized than HBCUs. If you attend to HBCU, then you know sometimes they can be really disorganized. Not all of them, but just sometimes they can get a little messy, and I think PWIs have that under control a little bit more. As far as connections go to the outside world, I think that PWIs have a lock on that because, like I said, PWIs are usually larger than HBCUs, so there are more people that attend them, more people that graduate from them, more people who get jobs who attended PWIs. And in that way, I do understand why there is some hostility from the PWI side going towards the HBCU side because A, some people who attend HBCUs act as though they watched Roots every morning, and their disposition towards white people and towards people who are black people who associate towards white people is so negative for no reason sometimes. And I really hate the fact that we forget as black people that not every white person is racist. Not every white person hates black people. Like, there are white people who are pro-black. I know plenty of white men who studied and majored in African American histories. I actually know like 2 or 3 African American studies teachers who are white, and they spent their life researching our own history. And I can say that if you feel as though because a black person decided to go to a PWI that they are brainwashed, that they are uppity, that they are sedity, and that they feel as though they're better than the black community, then you haven't met majority of PWIs. I can say that as the higher the PWI gets, you see more blacks who tend to act that way, almost as though they forgot their culture and their heritage and their community. And that's something that really gets underneath people who goes to HBCU's skin because, like Tom Joyner said, going to HBCU, you're grown, and the main thing that they teach us is you give back. You need to find a way to give back, whether it's with your major, whether it's with community service, whether it's with the outreach program, whether it's with whatever you decide to do after you get out of college. You need to find some way to get somebody else where you are. And so when we see that people who attend PWIs forget where they came from or feel as though they're better because they associate with more white people and they feel like they're classier because of that, it causes this divide between us because we start assuming that all people who go to PWIs are like that, and that's not really the case. Because majority of PWI students, especially the black ones who I know, went because they were getting offered more money than at HBCU. HBCUs can be kind of cheap sometimes when it comes to handing out the scholarships. Not all of them, but they can be a little stingy. You know what I'm saying? Sally Mae HBCUs, they be a little stingy with the money. If you're coming from a black home, then 99.9% of the time, our parents raise us from 8th grade. They teach us, you go where the money is. Because regardless of how wealthy or how good our parents have it, they don't just have 50 G's or 100 G's sitting around to pay for us to go to school wherever we want to go or get our major from wherever we want to major from. And then if we're going to grad school, they don't have time for all of that. So you go where you're getting the most money. And so I think we forget that most black kids who attend PWIs, not all, but most, who attend PWIs are going because they know they want to go to college. They know that they want to better themselves. And at the end of the day, the easiest way to better myself without having to stress my parents out, without having to stress my family out, without having to take out all these loans is I'm going to go where the money is. Because regardless, a degree is a degree. And regardless, a higher education is a higher education. And so I think that sometimes we forget to commend them, because at the end of the day, they took that route to get a higher education. And we can't sit here and say, oh, you chose to go to a PWI, so you're brainwashed and you're whitewashed, so you forgot who you are, because there are plenty of strong black men and black women who attend PWIs and know who they are all through their process and never forget that and give back to their community same way that we do. Categorize those people based off of bad experience that we've had with people similar to them. And I feel as though we as a culture do that a lot. Like if we meet somebody who's bad, people who are similar to them, we associate with bad. You can't treat everybody the same just because you've had one bad experience. But as attending an HBCU, I can say that HBCUs are cheaper typically than PWIs. They're smaller, the classes are a lot more intimate. The professors definitely pour into you a lot more than at a PWI because of the size. And I can say, definitely as attending a HBCU, that I will always promote black colleges to a student that I meet. I always promote college in general, but if they ask me what's my preference, and I'm always gonna say HBCU, A, because I attended there and I'm gonna be an alumni one day, so I'm always gonna, amp up my own university, but mainly because I feel as though a HBCU route leads to more innovation in the black community. Majority of black people who I've met who attend PWIs want to overtake something that's already created. And majority of the black people that I met at HBCUs want to become dominant in something that has not yet been created. So if I'm taking that on both sides, then majority of the PWI guys, I know they want to become leads, head of the firm, CEOs, CFOs, this and the other of a company that already exists. Whether it's Apple, whether it's Google, whether it's whatever it is, they want to get into a field and they want to become like the first black man or the first black woman to be the top of that. They want to conquer a mountain. What I've noticed at HBCUs is we want to build our own building and then be in the top office. The people I met who attend HBCUs want to create their own field. And so they go there to learn about their culture and major in things that will help them and give them the proper tools to create this thing that has never been created. And that's not a bad thing. Like, neither of those are bad things, but I have noticed that that's a slight difference, and that's just in my eyes. As far as the division goes, like, it really needs to end, because at the end of the day, we're all black people who are trying to get a higher education, and we're taking whatever path we feel though is necessary or vital to our success. And I feel as though by us hating and bashing with each other all of the time, that all we're doing is promoting more negativity for the community. The thing that we have in common, regardless of whether or not you go to school with white kids or you go to school with black kids, is the fact that we're all trying to become successful black men and women. The thing that we need to hold on to, because there can't be division. If we say that we want to build a strong black community, then there can't be a division based off of where we went to school. We're still black. Like, that's the bottom line. Like, we're both still black. It's like HBCU pride is dominant, and we're always going to be that way because we feel like we're the underdogs as far as society goes. Because when you look at higher education in a societal lens, then you realize that sometimes, not all the time, but most people seem to think that an HBCU education is lesser than a degree from another university. And they think that because they don't feel as though black people, in blatant terms, they don't feel as though black people can teach and develop other black people into successful leaders. And because of that, and we know that that's different, and we attend the HBCU and we know the positivity that HBCUs bring, we try to come hard so that y'all know, like, it's not what you think it is. It's not like we go to class and our professors just pass us along, that the classes are smaller and the professors know you. They know when you're not in class, and if they see you on the yard, they're gonna call you out on it. Period, point blank. And I don't know if that happens at PWIs, but I can say I've had professors look me dead in the eye and be like, why wasn't you in class? It's that sense of accountability, like, I want you to be better, but if you don't want to be better for yourself, I'm not gonna force you. The thing that I love the most about HBCUs in general is we see these successful black people on Tumblr, and sometimes if you went to high school with black kids, they can be ignorant, they can be ratchet, they can be disrespectful for no reason. But I think that if you attend the proper HBCU for you, then what you realize is that all black people aren't like that, and that the media portrays black people basically as ratchet. When you go to HBCU, the first experiences that you get is that we wear suit and ties, and we're about our business, and we know how to conduct ourselves, and we know how to speak properly, and we know how to act. And that image as a black kid who's never seen that before is so powerful, because it makes you realize what you can really be when you apply your mind to it. I saw that drove me to be better, that drove me to create this channel, that drove me to brand myself, that drove me to create a different version of me than what I was in high school. It pushed me to be a different girl and a different woman. And that's something that I'll always have respect for, and I'm always going to love my HBCU. So I'm always going to throw up HBCUs at the end of the day because I'm proud of where I went. And there's nothing wrong with having pride with your university, but I'll never disvalue or not care about or think lesser of somebody who chose to go to school with white kids as though they're not trying to do the same thing as me. They're striving for the same thing. They're trying to get that job. They're trying to get that career. They're trying to be successful. I really want to see how you guys feel about the PWI versus HBCU debate. I don't feel like one is better because at the end of the day, it's just college. Like, it's college. It's what you do with that degree that makes the difference. It's not where you went. It's what you do with where you went. So comment down below your views on predominantly white institutions versus historically black colleges and universities. So I really want to hear what PWI students have to say about how HBCUs come off and what the issue seems to be sometimes. But definitely you guys, like, stay positive. Like, we all up in this thing trying to give back to the community, like, at the end of the day. Peace out.